peoples of North Africa, notably certain Berber groups and other desert populations, have marked ancient history through their lifestyles adapted to arid conditions and vast Saharan expanses. A particularly interesting fact is that Semitic peoples such as the Arameans, the Arabs, and the Israelites long used the name Mizraim or Mitzrayim to refer to Egypt. This term, deeply rooted in biblical traditions, reflects a remarkable cultural and linguistic continuity across the centuries. This designation appears in several ancient languages, including Aramaic, Arabic, and Hebrew, highlighting its importance in the history of Near Eastern civilizations. In the Book of Psalms, chapter 78, verse 51, it is written that God struck all the firstborn of Egypt, the first fruits of their strength in the tents of Ham. This passage recalls a significant episode in biblical history, emphasizing both divine power and the symbolic role of Egypt in sacred narratives. Besides Mizraim, Ham also had another son named Put, sometimes written as Foot or Foot in certain traditions. An interesting detail concerns the origin of this name. In some ancient interpretations, it is linked to a word meaning boundary or marker, referring to hunter peoples living on the edges of territories in remote regions of Africa. In several historical and cultural traditions, Put is regarded as the ancestor of ancient black peoples of Libya, as well as other African groups. This symbolic lineage has helped connect certain African peoples to biblical narratives, reinforcing their place in sacred history. Let us now address a subject that is often misunderstood and misinterpreted, the so-called curse of Ham. In reality, many people, both in antiquity and in later periods, have misread the episode reported in the book of Genesis, chapter 9. The biblical text recounts that after the flood, Noah planted a vineyard. In time, he harvested its fruit, made wine, and became drunk. In this state of intoxication, he lay uncovered inside his tent, unaware of his vulnerability. His son Ham, instead of preserving his father's honor and dignity, went and told his brothers that their father was naked and drunk, adopting an attitude perceived as disrespectful, even mocking. In contrast, his brothers, Shem and Japheth, acted with respect. They covered their father without looking at him, demonstrating their commitment to honor and modesty. However, this biblical passage has been subject to many interpretations over time, often influenced by cultural or ideological contexts. This complex debate goes far beyond the scope of this presentation, but it is essential to return to the text itself to understand its true meaning. What is certain is that when Noah pronounced a curse, it did not fall upon Ham himself, but upon Canaan, one of Ham's sons. This detail is fundamental and often overlooked. To some modern readers, this reaction may seem excessive or difficult to understand. Yet, in the context of that time, respect for one's father was considered a sacred value, and any violation of that honor was seen as a serious offense. It is also important to note that according to some interpretations, Noah did not intentionally seek to become drunk. Viticulture was still new to humanity after the flood, and he may have discovered the effects of wine without fully understanding its strength. This is likely why, in the biblical narrative, God does not punish Noah for this episode, showing a form of understanding toward human ignorance. Furthermore, it is essential to remember that Ham and his sons Cush, Mizraim, and Put are associated in biblical traditions with peoples connected to the African continent. This association has often been interpreted as evidence of the antiquity and importance of African peoples in human history. But a crucial point must be clearly stated: African peoples were never cursed in the Bible. This idea, unfortunately widespread in certain erroneous interpretations, is not supported by the biblical text itself. The curse pronounced by Noah concerns only Canaan, the ancestor of the Canaanites, a people who lived in the Near East, not in Africa. It is therefore very important to correct this misunderstanding. Interpreting this passage as a curse against African peoples is a distortion of the biblical message. According to some traditions, Ham is presented as the ancestor of many African peoples, and even of certain populations in South Asia. Ancient accounts also suggest that he lived a very long life, spanning several generations after the flood. Because he was born before the flood, Ham is believed to have enjoyed an exceptionally long lifespan. Some traditions say that he lived long enough to see the fifth or even the sixth generation of his descendants grow. Interestingly, his brother Shem is said to have lived about 600 years. Many traditions believe that Ham may have reached a similar age, or even more. However, the biblical texts do not provide any precise number regarding the length of his life, leaving room for interpretation. Even today, the exact location of Ham's tomb remains a mystery. Several theories have been proposed over time. Some suggest that it could be in Ethiopia or in ancient Nubia, regions rich in history and ancient traditions. Others believe he may have been buried in Mesopotamia, on the lands of the ancient Sumerians, one of the cradles of early civilization. Despite these differing hypotheses, many agree that his burial place could be somewhere in Africa, particularly in Sudan or Ethiopia. Some even go further and suggest that he may rest in Egypt, a country that continues to fascinate historians due to its many mysteries and ongoing archaeological discoveries. Indeed, Egypt is a land where tombs and artifacts dating back 3,000 to 4,000 years are still being uncovered, fueling speculation about the resting places of ancient figures like Ham. Another ancient text, known as the Book of Jubilees, provides additional details about the end of Ham's life and the history of Noah's descendants. This very old Jewish manuscript, considered credible by some believers in antiquity, even during the time of Jesus, expands on the stories of the three great lineages descending from Noah, that of Ham, Shem, and Japheth. According to this text, Ham did not approve of his son Canaan's decision to settle in lands belonging to the descendants of Shem, a region corresponding to modern-day Israel. He would have seen this decision as a serious mistake. The account also states that Canaan's brothers, Cush and Mizraim, shared their father's opinion. All believed that Canaan should not have taken possession of those territories. They reportedly went to him to ask him to leave that region, affirming that the lands intended for their lineage were primarily located in Africa. However, Canaan refused to obey. He chose to remain in that territory, ignoring the advice and will of his father, as well as that of his brothers. This decision marked an important division in the distribution of peoples according to these ancient traditions. The Book of Jubilees also reports that Ham may have founded the first city and the first province established after the flood. He is said to have named this city after his beloved wife, called Nelta Moke, according to certain traditions. Thus, through these accounts, Ham appears as a central figure in the history of the early post-flood world, linking different regions, especially Africa and the Near East, within a shared historical and spiritual narrative. Thank you to everyone who followed this content to the end. If you found it insightful, feel free to leave a like. It greatly supports the channel. Also consider sharing the video so others can discover these teachings. And of course, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss upcoming videos. See you very soon.